Across America, entire neighborhoods are quietly being bought, not by families, not by first-time homeowners, but by corporations. In some cities, nearly 1 out of every 4 homes sold is purchased by investors. And once you understand the system behind it, you start to realize something unsettling. Housing is slowly being transformed from a place to live into a financial asset owned by Wall Street. For most of modern history, houses were primarily owned by the people living in them. Buying a home was considered one of the most reliable ways for families to build long-term wealth and stability. But after the 2008 housing crash, something changed. Large financial institutions began to see an opportunity. When millions of homes went into foreclosure, prices collapsed across the country. For investors with large amounts of capital, this created a rare chance to buy houses in bulk at extremely low prices. Private equity firms and investment funds started purchasing thousands of single-family homes across major U.S. cities. Instead of focusing on traditional real estate investments like apartment complexes or office buildings, they began building massive portfolios of suburban houses. Over time, a new type of landlord emerged. Not a local property owner, but a large corporate landlords backed by billions of dollars in investment capital. Here's how the system works. Large investment funds raise money from institutional investors. Pension funds, private equity partners, and asset managers contribute capital to real estate funds designed to acquire single-family homes. Those funds then deploy real estate teams and data algorithms to identify houses in fast-growing markets. Cities like Atlanta, Phoenix, Tampa, and Dallas have seen especially high levels of investor activity. When a property becomes available, these funds can move extremely quickly. Many purchases are made with all-cash offers, which makes it very difficult for traditional buyers who rely on mortgages to compete. Once the homes are acquired, they are converted into long-term rental properties. But their real advantage comes from scale. Corporate landlords can own tens of thousands of homes across multiple states. That scale allows them to centralize property management, standardize rent increases, and optimize pricing using large amounts of market data. Instead of housing operating purely as a local market between buyers and sellers, it begins to function more like a financial portfolio. This shift changes the incentives around housing. Traditionally, homeownership created stability for communities and allowed families to build equity over time. But when houses became institutional investment assets, the priorities are different. The objective is no longer community. The objective is yield. Homes generate consistent rental income, and over time, they often increase in value as well. For investors searching for stable returns, that combination can be extremely attractive, which creates a simple incentive. Buy more houses, convert them into rental assets, and continue expanding the portfolio. For individual home buyers, this creates a very different reality. Instead of competing with other families trying to purchase homes, many buyers are increasingly competing with institutional capital backed by billions of dollars. And when large investment funds enter a housing market, prices tend to move in only one direction, up. Which raises a bigger question about the future of housing. If homes continue evolving into large-scale institutional assets, what happens to the traditional path of home ownership that generations relied on to build financial security? Because once you start looking closely, you realize this isn't the only system quietly reshaping the economy. And understanding how those systems work is becoming more important than ever.